Normally, Lisa Briggs is here to answer your garden and plant questions, but we are social distancing, so Lisa's on the phone with us.
Hello, Lisa. We missed your smiling face.
We're distancing about 5 miles.
Yeah, really.
You're at the Bruce Company. We got plenty of calls. 270-9933 is the number to call, and we will start with Judy in Madison. Hi, Judy. What's your question?
Yes, my question is it too early to prune hydrangea bushes?
Okay, so if you have hydrangeas that are the cone-shaped ones, so like the PG types, you can go ahead and cut back those spent flowers and just cut back to a pair of buds, kind of shape it. All the rest of the hydrangeas, the low-growing ones that bloom later in the summer, the round Annabelles and the blue ones, wait until the buds really start to swell and then remove the dead wood, but leave them alone until you start to see buds about a half an inch.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right, our next caller is Linda in Janesville. Hi, Linda. What's your question?
Oh, hi. I had a beautiful poinsettia at Christmas time. Now it's just stems. Will it ever bloom again? Do you put it in the dark or just use it for potting soil and throw the plant out?
Well, it is difficult to get poinsettias to recolor without greenhouse conditions. Most of us have too much light, and you can certainly play around with it if you want to do that, but when you say all stems, I'm wondering if you even have any green leaves left, and if that's the case, then I would just throw it out. Otherwise, you could play with it. There are instructions online.
All right, let's go to our next caller. It is Joanne in Beloit. Hi, Joanne.
Hi.
Hi, what's your question?
About my birch tree. It's about 40 years old, and it leaves out every spring, but by the middle of the summer, the leaves start, lacy looking, and they turn brown and they fall like something's been eating it. And I was told possibly a Japanese beetle.
You've got Japanese beetles.
Well, what can be done for that?
Yes, you can get a product by Bear Advance. It's called 12-month tree and shrub care. And it's basically a liquid or a granular, and you apply it to the soil around the trunk, and the amount you buy depends on how big your tree is. And I'd put it on, I'd say, around Mother's Day. It takes about 4 weeks to get into the tree. It won't keep the Japanese beetles away. It's not a repellent, but if they chew on your birch, they will die.
Okay, so
come into the garden center. We'll help you figure out how much you need.
All right.
All right, and we got Betty from Madison. Hi, Betty. What's your question?
Hello. I have an orchid plant that's about 3 years old. The first year it had 2 spikes come up, and they were just loaded with the orchid flowers. And it was beautiful, and they lasted like 3 months, 3.5 months. And then after that, they died down, and so I was told to cut them off, I think by you.
Yeah.
And so I cut the brown spikes off when they dried up. And then last year only one new growth came up. And this year now, the other spike is coming up. It did get a lot of flowers last year, but just the one. I was wondering if you can forest more. How would you do that?
You would fertilize it with a bloom booster.
Oh, okay.
And now's the time you can go ahead and start fertilizing.
Ah.
And so you would, if you're on a every week watering schedule, so water, fertilize, water, fertilize. And what you would do is get a fertilizer formulated for blooming. Water soluble, you mix it with water, and then you fertilize. Okay. Super easy.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Got a happy Betty on the line here. Let's go to Mark in Beloit. Hi, Mark. What's your question?
Hi. My question is about our rose bush. When should we prune it? How far down should we prune the rose bush?
Okay. So I like to prune roses in the spring. A lot of times if we have sort of an average to severe winter, you're going to get a lot of dieback. So you're going to wait until it starts to bud. And when you see that you have some growth on there that is, about 1/4 to 1/2 inch, then you can prune back whatever is dead and then also to shape. With roses, you want to make sure that when you prune just above the buds that they're facing outward. Otherwise, because the direction of that bud is the direction that the branch will be. So you don't want it crossing inside. You get better flowers if they're pointing out. So sit tight. Probably mid-April, depending on what the weather does. You can prune then.
Okay.
That's all the time we have.
They were talking to us. I couldn't hear the people.
And the lines are still blinking.
You're a popular woman, Lisa.
That's too bad we can't do the remote after the segment is over thing.
Yeah, I know. We can't take the calls.
We'll see what we can think of here.
Okay.
All right, everybody's thinking spring, that's for sure. Lisa, thanks for your time. Thank you, everyone, for calling in.
You're welcome.
We'll have a final check of your forecast coming up.